Excuse me, you can't have that here.
We have a permit. We reserve this area.
I don't care what you claim. Charcoal grills aren't allowed in this park.
Ma'am, we're in a designated barbecue area with a permit. See the sign right there?
I'm calling the police. You people are breaking the law.
You people? We're having a family reunion. We paid for this.
It was 1:15 on a warm Saturday afternoon in July. Bright sunshine poured over Lake Meadow Park in suburban Portland, Oregon, casting long shadows across the grass and warming the air. That was the moment Karen Whitfield made a phone call that would end her quiet routine, cost her everything she had built over decades, and ultimately hand the Richardson family a settlement of $2.3 million. The black family, she reported to police, wasn't committing any crime. They were the Richardson family: Dr. Anthony Richardson, a respected trauma surgeon, his wife Jasmine, a high school principal, their 3 children, and 27 extended relatives gathered for a family reunion. They had legally reserved the barbecue area with a proper permit. What unfolded over the next 43 minutes would be captured on multiple cell phones, expose Karen Whitfield's long history of racist harassment, and prove that weaponizing police against black families sometimes comes with a price measured in millions. Before we go further, let us know where you're watching from. And if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Stories like this matter, and your support helps bring the truth into the light. The Richardson family had spent 8 months planning this reunion. Loved ones were flying in from Georgia, Texas, California, and Illinois. 3 generations coming together in Portland to reconnect, celebrate, and honor the memory of Anthony's mother, who had passed away the year before. This wasn't just a gathering. It was meant to be a day filled with food, laughter, music, and shared history, the kind of day families remember forever. Jasmine had handled every detail with the same discipline and organization she used to run a high school of 1,400 students. She researched parks, compared facilities, and ultimately chose Lake Meadow Park for its spacious barbecue pavilion overlooking the water. The park featured 6 designated barbecue areas, each equipped with grills, picnic tables, and room for large groups. Permits cost $85 and could be reserved online up to 6 months in advance. On January 12, Jasmine officially reserved Area 3, the largest pavilion, for July 8. She received email confirmation, paid with her credit card, and printed a permit that clearly stated, Richardson Family Reunion, Area 3, Lake Meadow Park, July 8, 2023, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Permit holder, Jasmine Richardson. Charcoal grills permitted. Maximum occupancy, 50 people. She printed 3 copies. 1 stayed in her purse, 1 went to Anthony, and 1 was posted on the pavilion's information board exactly as park rules required. Everything was done legally, correctly, and by the book. Family members began arriving around 10:45 a.m. Anthony and Jasmine were first, bringing their 3 children, 14-year-old twins Naomi and Isaiah, and 10-year-old Caleb. They unloaded coolers, folding tables, decorations, and the family's most treasured asset, Uncle Raymond's massive charcoal grill, which he had driven up from California specifically for the reunion. That grill was legendary. It had cooked food at nearly every major Richardson gathering for over 2 decades, and Raymond treated it like a priceless heirloom. By 11:30 a.m., all 27 relatives had arrived. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins ranging from age 3 to 74 filled the space. Tables were set with food, banners reading Richardson Family Reunion 2023 were hung, a Bluetooth speaker played music, and Raymond fired up the grill using park-approved charcoal. The energy was pure joy. Kids chased each other through the grass. Adults caught up on years of life updates. Grandpa Eugene shared stories of growing up in Mississippi in the 1950s. Aunt Lorraine proudly passed around photos of her new grandbaby. Uncle Raymond worked the grill with the focus of a professional chef. It was exactly what Jasmine had envisioned: family, togetherness, and celebration. Karen Whitfield lived just 3 blocks from Lake Meadow Park. She had lived there for 32 years and saw herself as the self-appointed guardian of the neighborhood. She had strong opinions about who belonged in the park and who did not. 61 years old, retired from insurance adjusting, divorced, she spent much of her time watching park activity from her back porch using binoculars. Over the past 8 years, she had called police on park users 47 times. Every single call involved people of color, black families hosting barbecues, Hispanic families playing soccer, Asian families flying kites. White families doing the exact same things never triggered a call. Police knew her well. Dispatch recognized her number instantly. Officers often sighed when her name appeared, but they responded anyway because protocol required it. That Saturday afternoon, Karen was on her porch when she spotted the Richardson family setting up. Through her binoculars, she watched them unload supplies, decorate the pavilion, and start the grill. Something about it irritated her deeply. Too many black people. Too much music. Too much happiness in what she considered her park. Around 1 p.m., she marched over, walking with the confidence of someone convinced she had authority she never actually possessed. The first person she confronted was Jasmine, who was arranging plates and napkins. "Excuse me, you can't have that here," Karen snapped. Jasmine looked up, confused. "That grill," Karen said, pointing aggressively. "You can't have that here." Jasmine stood upright, reading the situation instantly. The tone, the hostility, the entitlement. "We have a permit. We reserved this area." Karen waved her off. "I don't care what you claim. Charcoal grills aren't allowed in this park." Jasmine felt her instincts kick in. As a black woman in America and a school principal used to confrontations, she recognized exactly what this was. "Ma'am, we're in a designated barbecue area with a permit that specifically allows charcoal grills. It's right there." She pointed to the posted permit on the pavilion board, clearly visible, with "charcoal grills permitted" printed in bold. Karen didn't even glance at it. "I'm calling the police. You people are breaking the law. You people." Anthony stepped forward, sensing the escalation. Still wearing his apron that read "Grill Master," spatula in hand from helping Raymond, he spoke calmly. "We're having a family reunion. We paid for this permit. Everything here is legal." Karen's eyes narrowed. "I know exactly what you're really doing here," she said, her voice heavy with accusation, just before pulling out her phone. She said, her voice heavy with implication. "This is a public park, not your personal backyard." "It is a public park, and we're legally using it with proper authorization," Jasmine replied, her voice steady but her anger clearly visible. "We have a permit. You can see it right there. We have every right to be here." Should white citizens be allowed to call police on black families for completely legal activities? Drop a comment below, because what happened next would prove exactly why the answer has to be no. Karen pulled out her phone. "We'll see what the police have to say about that." Anthony glanced at Jasmine. She gave a small nod. Anthony pulled out his phone and started recording. Jasmine stepped toward the board to retrieve the posted permit. By now, several family members had noticed the confrontation and were watching closely. Karen was already speaking to 911. "Yes, I'd like to report people having an illegal barbecue at Lake Meadow Park. They're using charcoal grills, which aren't permitted. There's a large group, maybe 40 or 50 people. Very loud music, and they're refusing to leave after I told them they were breaking the law." "Ma'am, we are not breaking any laws," Jasmine said clearly, holding the permit up so both Karen and Anthony's camera could see it plainly. "This permit was issued by the Portland Parks Bureau. It authorizes our family reunion, specifically allows charcoal grills, and we're well within our time and group limits." Karen turned her back, continuing to speak to the dispatcher. "They're becoming aggressive now. I feel threatened. Please send officers immediately." Uncle Raymond stepped away from the grill and walked over with Aunt Lorraine. "Anthony, what's going on?" "This woman is calling the police on us for having a legal barbecue with a permit," Anthony said, still recording. "Is she serious?" Raymond asked, staring at Karen in disbelief. "We paid for this spot. We have permission." Jasmine's cousin Tyler, a 34-year-old civil rights attorney from Seattle, pulled out his phone and began recording as well. He immediately recognized the situation. He'd handled cases just like this. "Ma'am, you're making a false report to police. That's a crime. We have a valid permit, right there. You're wasting police resources and potentially putting this family in danger. Karen finally turned around. Her face said it all. I don't care what fake paperwork you have. I've lived here for 32 years. I know the rules of this park. And you're not supposed to be here. Not supposed to be here? Jasmine shot back, her voice rising. You mean black people aren't supposed to be here? Because that's what you're really saying, isn't it? I never said anything about race, Karen snapped. You didn't have to, Tyler said calmly. You saw a black family enjoying a barbecue and decided to call police despite clear proof we're here legally. That's racial profiling, and it's illegal. By now, the entire family had stopped what they were doing. All 27 people, from Grandpa Eugene to 3-year-old cousin Destiny, watched as a white woman disrupted their reunion by calling police on them for a legal barbecue. Naomi, Anthony's 14-year-old daughter, began recording. Her twin brother Isaiah did the same. Aunt Lorraine recorded. Uncle Raymond recorded. 6 phones now captured everything. Karen's words, her face, the posted permit, the family's calm responses, and the undeniable proof this was legal activity being harassed for no reason. 12 minutes later, 2 patrol cars pulled into the parking lot. Officers Brandon Wright and Sophia DeMarco approached the pavilion. They had dealt with Karen's calls before. They were already skeptical. Good afternoon, Wright said. We received a call about an illegal barbecue. Officer, thank goodness. Karen rushed toward them. These people are having an illegal gathering. Charcoal grills aren't allowed. They're loud, disruptive, and refused to leave. Wright looked past Karen at the pavilion. He saw a large black family, food on tables, kids playing, a grill, decorations, music at a reasonable volume. He saw the permit posted clearly on the board. He'd seen this exact scene countless times, a legal family gathering. Ma'am, do you have a permit? He asked Jasmine. Yes, officer. Jasmine handed him the copy from her bag. We reserved this area in January. Paid $85. Everything we're doing is authorized. Wright examined the permit. Legitimate. Issued by Portland Parks Bureau. Correct date, time, and location. Charcoal grills permitted. Everything checked out. He turned to Karen. Ma'am, they have a valid permit. Charcoal grills are allowed here. They're not breaking any laws. That permit is fake, Karen insisted. They probably made it themselves. Officer DeMarco called the Parks Bureau non-emergency line and verified the permit number. Yes, it's valid, the Bureau confirmed. Issued January 12th. Paid in full. All conditions met. Wright's tone hardened. Ma'am, the permit is verified. This family has every right to be here. They're still too loud, Karen argued. There are too many of them. They don't belong. That's enough, DeMarco said firmly. What you're doing is harassment. You need to leave. I have every right to be in this park. Karen shouted. You do, Wright replied. But you don't have the right to harass people using it legally. Continue, and you'll be cited. Tyler stepped forward. Officers, we want to file a complaint. She made a false report and engaged in racially motivated harassment. Absolutely, Wright said, taking notes. Karen looked stunned. You're taking their side? We're enforcing the law, DeMarco replied. They followed it. You didn't. Karen stormed off, muttering about the neighborhood being ruined. After she left, Wright apologized. She calls all the time. That doesn't make this okay. It doesn't, Jasmine said quietly. Do you know how it feels to have police called on you just for celebrating with family? 6 weeks later, Tyler filed a civil lawsuit seeking $2.3 million. The evidence was overwhelming. 6 videos. Police body cams. Verified permits. Records of 47 police calls, every single one involving people of color. Not one about white families. Depositions destroyed Karen's defense. She showed no remorse. 14 months later, the settlement came. Karen paid $150,000. The city paid $2. 15 million. Karen was banned from the park for 5 years. Dispatch systems were changed. Policies updated. At a press conference, Jasmine spoke plainly. This money won't erase the fear, but it sends a message. The story went viral. 40 million views. The Richardsons funded legal aid and scholarships. Karen filed for bankruptcy. 3 years later, the family reunited again, this time privately. But the message remained clear. Weaponizing police against people of color is costly, documented, and no longer without consequences. If you believe families deserve peace, hit like. Comment if accountability matters. Subscribe for more stories where evidence meets courage, and racism finally meets consequences.